storage pretty soon. And then, if the blood pressure's looking good, we can go straight to donate after I go to storage and everything. If the blood pressure is not looking so hot, we will. Oh, Phil stinks. We will. If the blood pressure is not looking so hot, we'll end up. We'll end up. Oh, fudge. We'll end up going to the gym first. So if the blood pressure is too high, let me grab my grabby on. That's gonna hurt picking up. But there's my grabby. But yeah. So that's the plan now. Go to because if the blood pressure is, I would say, if it's not bad blood pressure, if it's like outside enough of the safe, the safe area essentially. If the blood pressure is a little bit higher than desirable, but maybe not too high, but still higher than desirable, you go into Baltimore City, the drive, being in front of all those people, many of which are angry. It's like, my blood pressure will go up a little bit. So I'd rather, I think I bent it a little bit on there, but that's okay. It's not really the end of the world. It's not like it changes a whole lot, just the aesthetic. See, I don't know if that was me that did that, though, because it might have been like that already. Take a look at it. Yeah, I don't think it's been stuck in there that well. It could have been, but it probably was already like that. It's bugging me, but it probably was bought like that. And we're doing what we can with what we got at the moment. Oh. But yeah, so we're going to take another trip to storage, get ready for the move. This month, with the car having to go to the shop, is a little bit rough. So I did slow things down a bit because I was planning to go in storage that night. And then the car ended up, but thank heavens we had Charlie because he took down my bill. First we were looking at $1,100, and then we were looking at $340, and then he brought it down. I think it was $311. So there's no other mechanic I trust. There's no other mechanic that I really get a deal like his, or that identifies the problem right off the bat, addresses the problem, doesn't bring up other problems for the most part, unless it's really serious. This is what needs to be fixed, we fix it. I like that kind of mechanic. Because he knows that even if there are other problems, if the person can't afford it, they can't afford it. Charlie is awesome. Fudge, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the blood pressure should be good, but we'll still have to switch out for going to my coffee. So I'm back to my normal self. But yeah. I'll take 2 more sips. Black coffee is a little harder to drink. For me, I kind of think of it in a similar light as like whiskey or something. People don't typically drink coffee. Well, coffee a lot of people do drink for the taste. I do like the taste. I can make it taste really nice and fancy. And there are a lot of alcohols that can taste really nice. I loved like Mike's Hard. I used to love the Angry Cider. Medium priced Chardonnay, not the cheap stuff. Although I didn't hate the cheap stuff, but medium priced. Not the expensive stuff either. I was taught by somebody who is, I mean, we could say an alcoholic, or we could say an alcohol connoisseur. Either way, it amounts to essentially the same thing. But his advice was not too cheap, not too expensive. And from my personal experience, I can at least attest that the cheap stuff is bad. And I presume that the expensive stuff, he's probably onto something there. probably tastes like poop too. That even kind of does tie in again, though, to the fact that people don't always drink things for taste or eat things for taste. A lot of it can be for health, can be for status. I don't know. Is that a crack? That might not be a crack. No, it's not a crack. Okay, good. Like, that better not be a crack. Silly goof. Okay. Oh, because I had the coffee thing in there. Now there's a little coffee. I thought the coffee grounds were out. Well. I shouldn't say I'm shocked that I got no viewers. A lot of my viewers are younger people. And right now, they'd be in school right now. Oh, I got one viewer, thank heavens. I know some of my viewers are older. Thank heavens. That's true, though. Everybody's probably either at work or at school, depending on, my viewership. That is fair. That's fair. Work or school. I'm about to get some extra money, too. At least pay off one more bill. The other bill, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay it this month, especially with the move and everything. Well, fudge. Okay. I feel like I'm going to do this. Here, fudge. 3D printed. And this one is also 3D printed. As is this one, 3D printed. Try not to scratch anything. All this dust, you can see how long this has been here. .3D printed. These are 3D printed. This is starting to hurt my back. I gotta pick this up. These alligator heads are also 3D printed. I was really hoping to do these things up, do a lot of stop motion with these things, but just really haven't had the time and stuff, and now I gotta move. So I found out that more stuff had been thrown away since he had come back. Stuff that would actually help me on a daily basis. Just the little containers for my food so I could eat. By the way, that's also 3D printed. So I could eat on my way to when I do my DoorDash, so when I'm making my extra money, which is a big part of my income now until I get one of those. I hope that's another thing I need to do. I need to apply again tonight, but for some more of these jobs. But the reality remains that until that happens, I need that. Even when I get that, I might still need that. The container for food to save the money. But yeah, he just kept throwing things away. And it's like some things can be thrown away, and realistically, I don't think most of the stuff needed to be thrown away. I think most of it just needed to be put in storage. And that's also 3D printed, by the way. But yeah, he threw away some stuff that would actually be very helpful to me. And that's one of the reasons I'm moving, because I'm like, I can't live with somebody who just throws things away. And I can't live in a place where, I can't have this as my storage area because it's just not enough space. Don't quite know how this is put in. I see. So that's how it was done. That's how I did it years ago. Huh. There's that little piece. Did I get a divorce? We haven't made it official yet. That's a bit of a separate issue from this. This is stuff I had at my mother's house. My house in the Philippines. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out. But yeah, we are probably going to get divorced, me and my wife. I think most men just want basically, well, maybe not most, but I would say a lot, maybe most, just want a woman that'll be nice to them for the most part. Not not like 100% of the time, but like, it's like if you finish a day of work or you're a break at work and you message your woman and she's like, I hate you, and you're like, I love you, baby. And she's like, I hate you, I hate you. It's like, no, it's like, and I know you might not always feel 100%. It's like, I get you, baby. But it's like, just because you don't feel 100%, I don't feel 100% all the time. That doesn't mean I don't still spread love to other people. And you're talking about not just other people, not just like strangers or acquaintances. You're talking about your husband here. And it's like, yeah, you should probably, your husband, your wife, you should probably make some effort to be kind. With me and my wife, it's been like 3 years of her just being mad at me all the time. And a lot of it started for me when she threatened divorce. And ever since then, I can't really even look at her the same. Ever since she threatened divorce, I don't know that I can really ever make love to her again in any meaningful way. Once she said divorce, that was it. It will. I appreciate that. Baruch atah Adonai. I want to be careful with this one. I think this is one of the ones I had since I was like 6. So I'll put him to the side. Yeah, this stuff has been here for a while. I might have to get the Lego grabber for that one. This one, I think I added the hat. I think that might, no, that's a newer one, I think. That might be one of the ones from my childhood, but I think that's a newer one. The seat, I think that might be from childhood. I'm not 100%. I'll have to take a look at it later. I know he is. One thing I have noticed too is, like, in the past, I don't think it's always been like this, but more recently, men have been coming together to support one another. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, honestly. There's some more 3D printed pieces. 3D printed piece. 3D printed piece. And 3D printed piece. And 3D printed piece. Oh, I forgot this was here. Yeah. With a small enough camera, this would have been really cool for stop motion. It's not a 3D printed piece. There's two blue pieces. There were two blue pieces there. There's some part of the 3D printed piece got stuck in there. What's cool is it has that little piece on top to stick to that red piece that went over it. This piece right there, I think, is from childhood. Fudge, I don't know if he can come off. He seems on there pretty hard. I got that off. That's another. That piece is from the childhood set I had. I'll be a little more careful with the childhood pieces at times. And this one I think is almost filled up anyway. Be nice to your husband. No. Oh, whoops. I scratched it a little bit. I accidentally did that, pulling it off. These have not been in a temperature-controlled room, so a lot of the plastic has deteriorated from not being in a temperature-controlled environment, which is where they're being moved to. This is a 3D controlled, 3D printed piece, though. But yeah, a little piece of it ripped loose of the 3D printed piece when I removed it. So yeah, like 3D printed pieces, often very good to have them in a temperature controlled environment. Absolutely. Okay. Now, oh fudge. Did I just scratch it? I wasn't trying to do that. Oh. Now we're gonna have to go get. I have that too. I don't know if I want to use it for that or not. Let me see how clean it is. It has trash in it, it looks like. Or we'll have to look through it in a minute. But yeah, okay, we won't use that particular one. We got a bunch of them. .3D printed piece, and this one is 2 here in the bottom. Probably should get the grabber wherever that is for some of these pieces. It is the way to keep from the likelihood of scratching them. Oftentimes, it often is just easier to get the big bricks up depending on which bricks you're dealing with. There we go. Oh, fiddlesticks. Oh, flapjacks. Where did that go? There it is. That was stuck in there, something good. Ugh. That's another thing too. The environment that this is going into won't have. Oh, there's another little piece. I'm not on the side camera. There we go. There's another piece. Camera. I was trying to say I was on the side. Side view. I'm obviously not. Yeah. Well, I might just bring that like in a separate box. This too. Now, where is Queen Nefertiti's head? Here, there it is. So this is a really good 3D printed brick right here. It's Queen Nefertiti. It actually kind of adds to the aesthetic, it being all dusty in that particular case. So I'm very careful with these pieces. I think the childhood ones are there. I think I just try to be a little more mindful when I open that one. I've got to take a couple more of these that I'm not planning to take apart. At least not yet. It's one of the fun things about Legos is it's kind of at your own discretion. There's that one. We can probably just throw that in there for now. We'll put it on the containers later. And then another one, probably this one right here. Because this one, oh, fudge. I have a picture of this I took during my second undergrad. That's how long these things have been sitting here. Like it's been a hot minute. There's the box. I got something delivered. That would probably be good. Put these in, right? It's actually like a perfect fit too. Oh fudge, there's like a Lego thing at the Walmart I want to take a picture of because I won't be able to afford to buy it, but I do want to take a picture of it. I'm kind of debating whether I want to get more containers today or not because I'm already unable to pay my bills. But that's the thing. It's like the containers are like what, like $6 or something. If I can't afford to do that, you know, it's kind of like the other part of me is kind of saying, well, if I can't afford to do that, then you know, it's like, of course, the question that's coming to me is $6 going to take away from me being able to pay the bills, and then of course, you know, containers for the storage and everything. But it's one of the things right now that actually gives me the most joy is getting this stuff organized because it's like. It's actually like having my own room separate from any other room. It's basically what it is in storage. You just can't live there. You can't like spend hours. Well, I guess you can spend hours there if you're actually doing work, but you can't like, you know, just chill there, like pull up a chair in there. But it, you know, it's like my own room finally. Like, you know, I don't have control over my house that I bought in the Philippines, and here, you know, I'm living with family again, and it's like I don't have access to my own space cut off from everything else. So it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, heaven forbid if after I move out, if I have to sleep in my car, you know, at least I would have my stuff in its own spot and I'd be satisfied with that. It's just been, yeah, it's just been, it's been the quest of my life. Just a little bit of area just for myself, just for me, just me. No invasion of privacy, no bursting in the door, no putting your stuff here, no, And I get that people want to share. A lot of people, like my wife, like want to share her life. I get that, but there has to be some level. There has to be somewhere where you put your foot down and you say, "I just want some privacy and some stuff for me because I paid for the house. I paid for this and that." So I don't think I'm going to get remarried anytime soon because, like, I think as men, I think we have to just heighten the standards. Honestly, a lot of women have been saying that forever, and I just don't see what they mean by that exact. Or I don't know if the end goal that they're looking for is ever going to be achieved. Oftentimes, the ones who will say like, the man has to have all these like a huge list of standards. I think for as men, we can keep the standards simple, but we have to have them heightened. I guess that's what I mean. A lot of women, when they say that they need to heighten the standards, they mean that they need to add to the standards list. And I think as men, I don't think we need to add more standards. I think we need to just select the most important and keep those at the top, and no compromise. You know, for example, a hardworking woman, whether it's in the house or it's in the job sphere or it's like part time in both, the idea of having a hardworking woman, a woman who's really, who uses, her feet and her hands to get things done. Like this concept, um, and by the way, it's like the standard in a lot of countries. In the U.S., it's very rare in a lot of countries. The Philippines, from what I've seen, the Philippines, the U.S., a lot of countries, this concept is really rare. And I think, if we want to have, happiness, I think we have to set that as the standard. If we're hardworking in what we do, we should expect the same in return, whether it's in the job market or in the home or both, a little bit of both. We should not be settling anymore, guys. I think we really need to heighten the standard for what we decide to do with the rest of our lives, because that's a big deal. And for us men, we can have babies until we're like in our 80s, 90s. It becomes more difficult and not as probable, but the possibility still is there. And a man can definitely have kids into his 50s. So the idea that there's some sort of massive pressure to have kids, and that's kind of why I got married the first time. That there's this massive time clock is kind of an illusion for men. And the happiness factor, now for me, the change happened after the marriage. So you can't always account for this, but I would put this in the prenup, and I wish I had. I almost did do a prenup. I wish I had. I would put this in the prenup, and the prenup would go something like, basically, I don't know, how we would put it in the prenup, but yeah, like a woman who is just constantly cruel to you. I don't know. I don't think you could really put that in the prenup. I would say the prenup wouldn't really be able to address something like that, but it is something that is a problem. As I think a lot of men see that they marry the woman expects that now she'll have a life of complete luxury and doesn't have to do anything and gets all the money in the world, and it's like that's never been how marriages have worked traditionally. It's been a partnership, two people working together to in a rough world to get it done. Since when is it just the man provides vacations and things, and it's like you don't even know, do you understand how that's not how financing and money works. You can't afford to do that. I won't be able to pay all the bills this month, but that doesn't mean I'm spending a little bit extra than I should, but I'm also not, taking a loan out and going on a vacation. You see the difference? I'm debating whether or not I should spend $6 on some more containers, on my way to get storage done and then do some additional work to make some more money. A lot of the concept of, I think a lot of people in general, not just women or not just men, but I think a lot of people in general have a difficult time understanding finances But it becomes more difficult if you're not directly involved in those finances. For example, if you are a stay-at-home wife, there's a good chance you don't know a whole lot about finances. And that's where the difficulty comes in, where like the expectation of like vacations and like new toys and all these things like constantly happening, that expectation I think is often set if you don't understand how finances really work. Like if you want that, you need like a man making like 80,000 a year or two people making 40,000 a year. But you're not going to get that on like my salary, even working, a job and two side hustles. That's just not how it works. That's just not how it works. I'm not saying everything I've said has been 100% accurate, but like it's kind of ridiculous, the expectation. But the reason it's ridiculous is because I think a lot of people who don't deal with money and haven't gone through those struggles don't understand how money works. Well, that's pretty fair, right? But yeah, the problem then arises, what do you do with that? You know what I mean? Well, honestly, I don't even know if we can do Walmart today because it's getting a little late. I need to get to donate. I was going to check a bunch of stuff, but just collecting those Legos took so long. I don't know. We got to donate. We got to do some more door dashing. We got to make some money. So we're just going to have to figure it out, man. We're going to have to figure it out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to donate first. And then after the donation, excuse me. After the donation, I'm going to see how far away storage would be. Well, I don't know. Actually, let me double check. I'll get back with you guys. I'm going to check when the place closes because I can probably drop this stuff off real quick and then go to storage. So let's see.